Hello and a warm welcome to all on our special program Current Affairs. Recently, the Supreme Court held that telecom companies will get 10 years to pay their adjusted gross revenue or AGR dues. According to the court, the National Company Law Tribunal should make a decision whether or not spectrum can be sold under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. In GKToday's Current Affairs Explainer program series, we will talk about questions like what is AGR, how it is computed, what is the entire AGR issue, what is the judgment of the Supreme Court on this, and lastly we will also know why has the payment deadline been extended by the Supreme Court. Let's begin with the first question. What is AGR? Adjusted gross revenue, that is AGR, can be defined as the usage and licensing fee that the telecom operators have to pay to the Department of Telecommunications. It is divided into spectrum usage charges and licensing fees varying between 3 to 5% and 8% respectively. The next question here is how is it computed? According to the Department of Telecommunications, the AGR is calculated based on all revenues earned by a telco. It also includes non-telecom related sources such as a deposit interest and asset sales. The next question here is what is the entire AGR issue? All the telecom companies that are operating in India pay a part of their revenues as license fee and spectrum charges to the Department of Telecommunications. The AGR is charged for using the spectrum owned by the government. For the calculation of AGR, Department of Telecommunications says that telcos must cover all the revenue earned by them, including from non-telecom sources like deposit, interest, and sales of assets. The telecom companies were opposed to this and had challenged this in the Supreme Court. On October 24, 2019, the Supreme Court gave its judgment and said since the license had agreed to the migration packages, they were liable to pay the dues, the penalty on dues, and the interest on penalty owing to delay in payments. The dues were to be cleared within 3 months. Later, a review petition was filed and it was dismissed by the Supreme Court. So basically, the dispute between DoT and the mobile operators was mainly on the definition of AGR. The DoT opined that AGR includes all revenues from both telecom and non-telecom services. The companies argued that AGR should include just the revenue accrued from core services and not dividend, interest income or profit on sale of any investment or fixed assets. So what is the judgment of the Supreme Court? The Apex Court gave all telcos a 10-year timeline to complete the payments of AGR dues. Earlier, it was a 20-year schedule recommended by the Department of Telecommunications. The Supreme Court also directed telcos to pay 10% of the total AGR dues by March 31, 2020. Following it, they can pay in annual installments between 2021 and 2031. Telcos would also have to pay payments on or before February 7 every year. Failing to pay the dues in any year would lead to accrual of interest and will be considered contempt of court by such companies. According to the Supreme Court, an important issue of whether the spectrum could be sold under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code will now be decided by the National Company Law Tribunal. Lastly, let us know why has the payment deadline been extended by the Supreme Court. Later, following request by the Department of Telecommunications and the telcos, the Supreme Court agreed to hear them over the issue of payment deadline. However, the court refused to consider the quantum of AGR to be paid by telcos. The DoT had recommended that telcos be given up to 20 years to pay their dues in annual installments, but the court examined that the period of 20 years fixed for payment is too much. Therefore, the Supreme Court opined that telcos will get 10 years to pay their AGR dues. Even after 10% payment, the dues still run to 1.43 lakh crore.